Na good afternoon, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Kumusta po kayo? Sana po ay nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan. Much for responding. Now let's come to child-friendly school. It's part of course, learning environment. So, through DepEd Memorandum Number 1920/2005, the child-friendly school system, which started at the elementary level, was expanded to the secondary level to this DepEd memo we issued in 2005. That means that the child-friendly school system, CPSS, was cascaded or implemented rolled out in the high school or secondary level in 2005. So, mas nauna pala ang elementary mag-implement ng child-friendly school system. Ano po ba? Let us review the goals of the CPSS at the secondary level. Hindi lang sa secondary level, but also in all levels of uh, basic education. So number one goal is develop a child-friendly leadership and inclusive child-friendly management. This pertains to the school heads. Develop a child-friendly leadership and inclusive child-friendly management. The second goal is to promote health education, healthy behavior, and an environment safe for and protective of children's total well-being. Now, letter C, provide every opportunity for enrollment and completion of secondary education to all children in the communities served. This pertains about inclusive education. Letter D, promote child-centered effective teaching learning practices and life skills relevant to the student's life situation both inside and outside of the classroom. Build and sustain collaborative partnership between and among students, teachers, families, and communities. So shared governance po ito. Then letter F, enhance teachers' professional capacity, morale, and motivation. So this is teachers upscaling and rescaling, which is part of sulong edukalidad, di ba? Create gender-friendly learning environment. Kaya meron tayong Gender and Development Program na in-implement. So who provides the learning environment to the learners? So is number one, tayo po na school head, school principals or school head, teachers, parents, and families, community institutions such as your local barangay council, other community members, and the children. Sandali lang. And the children themselves support each other in creating and enhancing the learning environment. So, sino yung mga tinutukoy na form part of the learning environment? Tayo ng mga school head, yung teachers, sinabi ko na ito kanina, yung parents, families, community, and other stakeholders, other community members, yung mga barangay council, lahat talaga na nakapaligid. Kaya sinasabi nga sa African proverb, it takes a village to educate a child. So kapag hindi naging produktibo, hindi naging productive at hindi nakatulong sa pagpapaunlad ng ating bansa ang mga nag-graduate sa atin sa K-12, hindi lang po yan kasalanan ng principal, hindi lang yung kasalanan ng teacher, hindi lang dapat tayo ang sinisisi. Dahil ang learning environment ay hindi lang yung nasa loob ng paaralan, lahat ng nasa paligid ng mga learners, kasama ng mga magulang. Ang mga kasambahay, mga kasama sa bahay, mga kapitbahay, ang mga dinadaanan, yung predicab driver, yung mga kaibigan, yung mga namumuno sa ating bansa, sa ating barangay, sa ating munisipyo. So, lahat sila, tayong lahat ay dapat sisi. Hindi lang nakatuon sa atin ang sisi kapag nagkakaproblema ang mga learners. So kapag bumagsak pala si learner sa pag-aaral, nag-drop, hindi lang nating kasalanan yan na nasa paaralan. Kasalanan ng lahat. So when can a school be called a child-friendly school? A child-friendly school is more than just a place for formal learning. Foremost, it is an institution that recognizes and respects the range of rights of children, and not just their right to be educated. These rights also include the rights to be healthy, to be given opportunities for play and leisure, to be protected from harm and abuse, to express their views freely, and to participate in decision making according to their evolving capacities. Ito po ang mga karapatan ng mga kabataan, the rights of the child na palaging na dapat nakapaskil sa ating mga paaralan. Isa po ito sa mga MOBs para sa School-Based Management Level 3 or even Level 1. So when can a school be called a child-friendly school? So while upholding children's rights, a child-friendly school also instills in children and the responsibilities that go with the rights. So yan. Hindi lang palaging give sa mga kabataan, sa mga child. Dapat may responsibilidad din na ginagawa ang mga learners. Among these are to respect the rights of others. Ano yung mga responsibilities ng children? Respect the rights of others. Respect diversity. So kaya nga, pinagbabawalan natin ating mga learners na mag-commit ng bullying, maging bully. Practice equality and resolve differences without resorting to violence. So ito po ang responsibilidad ng mga learners that we should explain to them. Hindi lang puro karapatan ang kanilang iniisip. Dapat iniisip din nila ang kanilang responsibility. In every right, there is a corresponding responsibility. Just as important, a child-friendly school takes the lead in shaping a learning environment that enables children to learn as much as their intellectual faculties could take. So learn to the fullest, holistic development, di ba? It is a kind of environment that allows them to grow healthy, equips them with knowledge and skills that they can use throughout life, and enables them to become responsible and productive members of their community and society. So this talks about our DepEd vision. So we dream of the learners who passionately love their country and whose values and competencies enable them to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building the nation. So ito na ang tinatawag na productive members of their community and society. So we dream of Filipinos who passionately love their country, patriotism. What exactly is a child-friendly school and how can our school become one? Ito po ang mga indicators. Letter A child-friendly school has the following 5 traits. Number 1, a child-friendly school is inclusive, gender-sensitive, and non-discriminating. So ano yung mga factors or indicators ng ating school ay inclusive, gender-sensitive, and non-discriminating? It is to be inclusive, gender-sensitive, and non-discriminating when it does not turn away any child from enrolling and attending classes for whatever reason. Kaya nga bawal hindi talaga ini-implement yung no vaccine no no vaccine, no module policy. At saka sa pag face-to-face class naman, kahit na limited pa lang, ay walang order from the higher authorities pang DepEd na bawal sumali sa face-to-face classes ang hindi vaccinated na mga estudyante. Pero preferred yung mga vaccinated. Pero hindi naman sinasabi sa atin na pagbawalan because that is against inclusive education. So give boys and girls equal learning opportunities. So equity of learning. Treats all children equally regardless of gender, social status, cultural origin, or religious belief. Dito sa religious belief, 'di ba? May isang Christian group, Christian group na pinagbabawal sa kanila ang pag-attend ng flag ceremony, 'di ba? So, dapat alamin natin ang mga religious kaya nga sa LIS, 'di ba? Isa sa indicator mga information na kinukuha natin sa mga learners ay yung kanilang religion. Kasi dapat malaman natin ang religion nila kasi may mga relihiyon na pinagbabawal ang pag-attend sa flag ceremony. Kaya hindi natin dapat pilitin ang mga learners na ito na mag-attend sa flag ceremony dahil nga pinagbabawal sa kanilang relihiyon. So hindi dapat pagalitan, o hindi dapat i-expel. There is already a Supreme Court decision about this matter na yung mga learners ay parang in-expel or pinarusahan ng isang school head dahil hindi nag-attend ng flag ceremony. Ano ng kaso sa korte ang mga parents at karating hanggang Supreme Court. So ano ang desisyon ng Supreme Court? In favor of the learners dahil that is about child-friendly school, di ba? Treats all children equally regardless of gender, social status, cultural origin, and religious belief. Number 2, it is child-centered. Ano yung una? Child-friendly school is inclusive, gender-sensitive, and non-discriminating. Number 2 is child-centered. Ano yung mga indicators ng child-centered? How do we describe a child-centered school? A learning environment has the best interest of the child in mind and in all its learning activities. Has a curriculum that addresses the child's learning needs as well as those of the community and society. Kaya nga, meron tayong contextualization, meron tayong differentiated instruction. Even in the assessment, we are mandated to come up different types of assessment according to the needs and context of the children. Employs teaching methods that are suitable to the child's age, abilities, and ways of learning. So sa K-12 pedagogy ay meron ito. Encourages children to think and decide for themselves, ask questions, and express their opinions. Embedded na ito sa ating curriculum and this form part of our K-12 pedagogy or pedagogy. Make sure that children master the basic skills of writing, reading, speaking, and listening, mathematics, and the necessary skills that they can use to life. Kaya meron tayong ELLN, Early Language and Literacy and Numeracy. Okay, dapat ma-master ito na basic writing, reading, and speaking, and listening, and math, ELLN nga sa K-3 pa lamang. Kaya pagdating sa high school or intermediate, ang kagaling ng bumasa at wala nang dapat instructional reader, wala nang dapat frustration reader o non-reader sa high school. Number 3, characteristic is a child-friendly school is healthy for environment. Ulitin natin, ano yung una? Inclusive, gender-sensitive, non-discriminating, child-centered, healthy. Healthy. Paano nating masasabing na healthy ang ating school? It is said to be healthy for children when it promotes children's health. Kaya meron tayong school-based feeding program, meron tayong SBM Wins Plus, Wash in School Plus. Bakit Wash in Schools Plus? Kasi meron na tayong mga COVID-19 related hygiene practices or health practices, di ba? Then provide provision of masks sa mga learners kapag walang dalang mask. Kaya I believe doon sa ating entrance gate, bawal tayong maglagay ng no face mask, no entry, no vaccine, no entry. Naku, bawal yan ha. In my own opinion. Kasi pag nakita yan ni children ng isang learner, wala siyang face mask, saka hindi siya vaccinated, hindi na yan papasok. Kasi yung laki-laking ng karatula dyan na no face mask, no entry, no no vaccine, no entry. So pwede siguro isulat doon for kung ilalagay natin diyan, i-specify natin kung sino ang mga tao lang na mag-o-observe diyan na no face mask, no entry at saka no vaccine, no entry except the learners. Sige, ilagay natin doon. No face mask, no entry, no vaccine, no entry except lakihan, except malaki, bold letters, the learners. Plus pogi points po yan sa atin. Except the learners. That means we are inclusive, practicing inclusive education no matter what, even during the times of crisis. So paano pag walang face mask si learner, pasok ng triad, so school gate, bigyan ng face mask. That is our so yun sa ating responsibilidad, di ba? Doon sa ISAT, School Safety Assessment, kung ano mga dapat gawin natin. Okay. So paano pag hindi vaccinated si learner? Anong gagawin natin? Hindi talaga dapat natin palabisin yan. Anong gagawin natin? Referral system ang papasok dyan. I-refer natin sa mga nagbabaksin na baksinan siya. Of course, with the consent of the parents. Okay. Kasi may mga learners talaga na dahil sa kanilang health condition, ay hindi siya pwedeng i-vaccine. So guarantees the school buildings, grounds, and facilities are safe, clean, healthy, and with adequate water and sanitary facilities. So kaya meron tayong wash in school. May plus na ngayon. Plus hand sanitizer, plus facial, face mask, ganun po. Then has written policies and regular practices that promote good health. Kaya meron tayong information and education, communication, IEC materials na naka-print sa tarpaulin. Diba? Required dyan sa those who want to implement limited face-to-face classes. Naka-tarpaulin yan. Mga educational and information and communication materials promote good health na in times of COVID-19 or health crisis. Tamang paghuhugas ng kamay, tamang pagsuot ng face mask, di ba? Tamang pagtututbrush, elementary, di ba? Integrates health education and life skill development in its curriculum. So this already integrated in K-12. Host regular health services for children such as immunization. We are doing this, di ba? We are doing this already. Number 4, caring and protective for all children. A child-friendly school is caring and protective for all children. It is said to be caring and protective for all children when it, number 1, safeguards and provides security for children. Kaya meron tayong child protection policy. Ating mga gates, entrance, and exit ay dapat sturdy o matibay na hindi basta-basta na papasok. Meron tayong perimeter fence na matibay, sturdy, at walang tusok-tusok sa taas. Bawal yung mga pointed, di ba, sa taas ng gate at saka sa pader. Bawal maglagay ng barbed wire doon sa taas. Ano yan? Yung nilalagyan lang kasi ng barbed wire sa as an extension sa pader ay yung mga kulungan. Hindi kulungan ng ating paaralan, nalagyan natin ng barbed wire sa taas ng pader. Helps defend and protect children from harm and abuse. Kaya meron tayong VAUSI na batas. Tini-implement din sa atin. Encourages children to care for each other. Okay. Responsibilidad. Pinagbabawal ang bullying, cyberbullying. Dapat ini-implement, pinapaintindi sa kanila yung safe spaces law. Does not tolerate physical punishment on children. So bawal ang corporal punishment. It's not only corporal punishment but also yung lahat ng abuses including mental and emotional abuse. Yung mga bad words ba, bawal yun sa kanila. Has clear guidelines for conduct between students that's not allowing at allow bullying. So we have, kaya dapat meron tayong student handbook, rules and regulation. Number 5, a child-friendly school involves children's families and communities. Shared governance. It is said to have families and community win it. Involvement ito. Question ito sa 2015. Paano nating masasabi na involve ang community? Works closely with children's families. Consult parents and invites their opinions regarding school policies and activities. So pag nagmi-meeting tayo, kasama pala yung parents representative at saka yung student representative, saka yung school governing council. Of course, in this IP, nandiyan yung school planning team. Holds regular dialogues with parents regarding their children's learning progress. Kaya kami dito sa Northern Summer Division, sa aming school, we have quarterly portfolio day. Okay. Anong ginagawa namin dito? This is dialogue, parent-teacher conference one-on-one. Si teacher, nakahawak niya ang mga records at saka cards ng report card ng learner, ng bata, tapos ang mga subject teachers ay present kasi during the conference, meron talagang nag-i-inquire, tatanong mga parents, bakit ganito ang grade ng anak ko, line of 7. Kaya kanina pa lang po ay nangyari po ito. So isang sa grade 11, may pumunta na parents sa class advisor at nagtanong, bakit po line of 7 ang grade ng anak ko sa subject na ito? Samantala, sa ibang subject ay mataas naman. So, nagkataon po ng advisor, siya rin ang subject teacher. And I was there observing. Nagkataon din na nandun ako nang magreklamo yung parents. May ginagawa ako sa classroom. Parang observe in a way of parang supervision na rin. At ang naging reason ng advisor o ng subject teacher ay hindi po nakapag practical exam or summative assessment in a practical exam ang learner, kaya bumaba ang grado, which is sa discussion natin mali po yun na lalagyan natin ng 0 ang learners ng isang learner kung hindi siya nakapag summative assessment. Kung hindi siya nabigyan ng pagkakataon to show kung ano ang kaya niyang gawin. So, I advise the teacher to reconsider the grade and give a chance to that learner to show what he can do, what he can perform, at what he knows. Kung anong alam at anong kayang gawin ng learners. So, dapat talaga tayo ay naka-monitor during the parent-teacher conference. Dahil may mga teacher pa talaga na hindi pa talaga nai-internalize ang ibig sabihin ng summative assessment at saka ng iba-ibang uri ng assessment. So cares as much as parents that children get enough nutrition and are in good health. Meron tayong minomonitor tayo. Minomonitor natin ang yung yung health status ng mga learners, di ba? Kung sino yung mga malnutrition, severely wasted, wasted, normal, above normal. Di ba? Cares about the children's safety not only within the school premises but also on their way to and from school. Okay. Ito naman po, so ilan po yung characteristics, mga indicators, major indicators, 5 ng child-friendly school. May shared governance, involve yung parents. Ang ikalima. What should a child-friendly school aim to achieve? A child-friendly school should aspire for 7 goals. Number 1, encourage children's participation in school and community. Okay? Enhance children's health and well-being. Guarantee safe and protective spaces for children. So, kaya meron tayong school safety as one of the strands in the management, di ba? Sa domain 2. This is because this anchored on the child-friendly school system. Encourage enrollment and completion. Then ensure children's high academic achievement and success. Raise children's morale and motivation, and mobilize community support for education. Shared governance palagi ang kasama sa last. Because it takes a village to educate a child. And if the school environment is very positive, ang mag-result po niyan sa effective learning to happen according to our mission. Ano ba yung mission ng parents, community, and other stakeholders, diba, are actively engaged for developing lifelong learners. So goal number 3. So let's focus on goal number 3, which is related to school environment. Guarantee safe and protective spaces for children. So what your school should have or should be doing. Your classroom have proper ventilation and lighting and enough space for 45 to 50 pupils. Sa ngayon, sa limited face-to-face, ang maximum number of learners sa secondary ay, sa high school ay 20. Sa K-3 naman, 15 yata. So paki-check na lang ha. Baka lumabas yan sa exam. Your classroom desk and other furnitures are sized to the age of the pupils. In the case of shared desk, each pupil has enough space to do set work. Your classroom's layout and furniture allow pupils to interact and do group work. Pero sa guidelines po sa limited face-to-face classes, bawal ang group work. Bawal ang group work. Your classrooms have a bulletin board or a corner that displays helpful learning materials such as posters, illustration, newspaper, magazines, clippings, and your pupils' own work. Kaya meron tayong reading nook. Sabay pa mo ako sa elementary talaga. Hangang-hanga ako sa mga structures sa elementary. Kompleto recados ng mga posters, illustrations, at iba-iba pa ng mga learning materials. Your classrooms, facilities, and premises are regularly maintained and keep clean. Your school has safe facilities in place to address hazard threats, fire exits, fire extinguisher, appropriate electrical wiring. So in addition nito, during ngayon, pandemic, sa entrance pa lang, meron dapat hand washing facility. Of course, the triage. Meron dong hand sanitizer, merong thermal scanner, at nakaabang na face mask supply para po sa mga learners yun na papasok na walang face mask. Pero dapat naman pakiusap tayo sa mga parents na bigyan naman, mag-provide ng face mask sa kanilang mga anak at saka yung hand sanitizer na maliit, 'di ba? Para makatulong naman po sa school. Limited naman po ang ating resources, lalo na ang ating pera sa school. Kaya nga diyan ang pumapasok ang shared governance, shared responsibility. Your school
Ah,
has...
Sir, pwede po magtanong?
Yes po.
Sir, sa ano po, yun po sa ating limited face-to-face sa junior high school, yun po ay nasa memo na po ba yung 20 po ang 20 po ang maximum,
Oh,
then sa
yeah.
K-2 po ay 15.
Opo.
Ay sir, sa
Nasa
ano po kaya?
guidelines
Sa ano po kaya sir, yung
sa high school.
grade sa high school po. Sir, sa
Ah,
K-3 po 15.
oo. Pero
Ay sir,
paki-check lang ng memo kasi ang natandaan ko 15 and below.
yes sir.
Max 15
Sir,
sa K to 3. Oo.
department memorandum po, DM po ba? Ito o yung department, yung depend order?
Memorandum ba yun sa guidelines on the implementation of limited face-to-face classes.
Yun sir.
Oo.
Sir, doon po sa grade 4 to 6, sa ano po? Ano?
20, katulad din sa high school, 20. Maximum.
Okay sir.
Maximum.
Maximum po sir yun. Okay sir. Thank you po.
Pero mapakias na lang ng copy ng ng guidelines na yun sa inyong
Po yung
division or
guidelines and the implementation po?
Opo. Limited
Implementation
face-to-face. Opo.
of face-to-face.
Oo.
Okay
Oo.
sir.
Oo.
Load ko po ito sir. Salamat po.
Sige po. Thank you. Your school has identified unprepared alternative learning space in cases of emergency. Yes. So may pundo po dito ang Department of Education, di ba? Kapag tinatamaan ng malakas na bagyo at nasira yung mga learning centers, mga classrooms, ay tinatayo kaagad yung mga alternative learning spaces. Then, your school has adequate emergency first aid kits that are readily available. So, meron naman po nito, lalo na ngayon sa ngayon na nasa pandemic tayo. Really required na talaga ang school clinic. If you're applying for limited face-to-face classes, doon po sa school safety readiness assessment para sa limited face-to-face classes, sa require ang dapat school ay magkaroon ng o mag-establish ng school clinic at saka isolation facility. So yung school clinic dapat meron siyang nurse. Kung walang nurse, ay mag-assign po si school head ng clinic teacher. Clinic teacher. So dapat daw yung clinic ay may tao habang merong face-to-face class. So sa ngayon, sa nakikinig ngayon, yung nag-review, yung hindi pa nakapag face-to-face, ang iba kasi sa mga participant ngayon ay nakaparticipate na sa face-to-face class and they really establish school clinic. Kami nga, yung aming school canteen, ginawa naming isolation facility muna. Kasi wala kasing iba ibang or facility sa amin. Yung ibang classroom namin, isang classroom namin, dinivide sa 3, divided into 3, lagyan mga divisions, so ginawang school clinic, ginawang guidance office, at saka ginawang isolation facility. Okay? So, laki yung mga central schools kasi parang merong budget from the national office na nag-construct ng isang standard school clinic. At may naka-assign na school nurse, district nurse. So your school conducts regular evacuation drills for earthquake, fire, flood, or tsunami. So usually ang ginagawa natin ay yung earthquake drill quarterly, di ba? Your school has a library for reading and for study. Meron naman po. Your school has
Naman po dito. No, kumagasiyan ng amo niya Sir David, gala ko tinaktakan ano. Amoy dyan.
Let's continue. Your school has a library for reading and for study. Your school has facilities and equipment for recreation and sports. Your school has sufficient lawn space and vegetation para sa gardening. Your school has duly assigned personnel in charge of securing its premises, its properties and those of its pupils and teachers. Meron tayong school guard, security aid na sinusulduhan gamit ang MOA. Your school coordinates with the barangay and local authorities to ensure the safety and protection of your pupils. Your school has a policy against discrimination with regards to gender, cultural origin, social status, religious belief, and others. So meron na lang tayo nito mga batas, di ba, and guidelines and DepEd orders. Meron tayong child protection policy. Your school has a program for children with special needs. Meron tayong special education. Then your school, your teachers use non-threatening styles of discipline. Bawal, hindi gumagamit ng corporal punishment. At saka mga verbal and emotional abuses, hindi gumagamit yan. So, is your school child-friendly? If you got a total of 25 points but lower than 30 points, you are a child-friendly school. If you got at least 30 points but lower than 35 points, you are an outstanding child-friendly school. If you got 35 points or higher, you are indeed a very outstanding child-friendly school. So lahat naman po tayo child-friendly schools. Because our K-12 program is a child-friendly program. Okay, this about yun po ang review natin about child-friendly school system.